The table is where the two of them spend their time together. The table is a kind of relentless site for the loss of romance. Flaubert is famous in studies of French style for the use of the imperfect. He uses that imperfect form, the imperfect verb form, really, I think, to expose the imperfections of life together. In other words, the imperfect registers the onslaught of time. This passage that I just read to you is not about one meal together. It's about all of their meals together. It's about the fate of having to eat your meal together with your husband. It's about the kind of sort of look that you get, the lucidity that comes with it, the way in which nothing can escape your gaze when night after night after night after night you sit next to the same person and watch him eat. Of course, eating is not the most attractive thing that we do. So there's something about Flaubert's gaze that is virtually clinical as he looks at this. And note the economy of this passage as well, that the boiled beef, the smoke of the boiled beef then becomes related to the secret, in her secret soul, the waves of nauseous disgust. In the discussion of Père Goriot, I mentioned at the beginning the relationship between Madame Vauquer, the landlady, and then the Maison Vauquer, the boarding house. Here we've got something that cuts deeper, it seems to me, that looking at her husband go through the routine motions of eating, there's a kind of inner nausea that is brought out here. And the time that it takes to eat, he's a slow eater. We watch her playing with these nuts, not knowing what to do. So we get a sense of the buildup of ennui, of boredom, the sort of gradual dissipation and loss, evaporation, disappearance of affection, which can't survive this routine. And that leads me to the point that I alluded to in my first comment, which is bliss and passion and things like that Emma has wanted. Are they compatible with time? Are they compatible with living together with someone? Is it the case, in fact, that time is the greatest enemy of ecstasy, which is a word that matters to Madame Bovary? Ecstasy etymologically means ecstasis, to be removed from the spot, to be so struck with passion and bliss as to be transported, and that's a word that the French use a lot, les transports. Well, I think we begin to see how corrosive and erosive time could be in arrangements of that sort, that marriage itself is really what's on the docket in this particular book. Well, Emma, you could argue, it's partly her own fault. I mean, what will happen if you start out in life with the conviction that bliss, passion, and ecstasy are going to be the norms, or at least going to be the dessert, the rewards, but predictable dessert and rewards? After all, that's why you got married, is that this is what is coming to you. This is going to be the consummation of your desires. These terms, as I've already suggested, come to her. She didn't invent them. Come to her from the books that she read in the convent. And so one of the questions, and it's a severe question, it seems to me, that Flaubert is raising here, is, does life cheat us? Which is what I think our instinctive reaction would be. Life doesn't measure up. We made the wrong choice. But the more frightening alternative explanation is our vocabulary cheats us. Our words cheat us. Our concepts cheat us. That we have all of the wrong tools. She wonders, was this marriage a mistake? Could another man perhaps give her, provide her, the things that she has not found? As I said, it's a scary doctrine. You may recall that when I lectured on Bleak House, I talked about pollution. I talked about the fact that we are porous, that we are penetrable, that we are formed by discourses and values that are not of our own making. And I think Flaubert takes that even further. But Emma is stubborn. And she will not give up on desire. It's one of the most endearing features of her, it seems to me.